Hello everyone, I'd like to introduce the 2D Metroidvania that I've been working on with spaceflight mechanics. Its working title is Lost Little End of the World, because you play as a modest-sized nuclear bomb that's gotten separated from the pack, so to speak. I'm still in the early days of development, but I thought it'd be fun to start cataloging the progress to keep myself on track. So, let's see what I've got so far. Oh, and you can call me Legato, because I'm a guitarist/musician. So, here's the first room, at the bottom of a pit, inside a derelict lighthouse-type structure. The only ways up to immediately let you know that, unlike most platformers, gravity is not your main opponent here, more like a minion. So you apply thrust, and you turn around, right? If the light on the bomb goes red, you'll take damage when you hit a wall. More if nose first. As you just saw, I took 2 pips of damage, and they're just 1. I'll have to implement a colorblind mode later, so the red and the green aren't the problem, right? So don't worry about that. The healing is quite inspired by Hollow Knight. You'll see if you stay still and hold a button, the healing button, you get this animation that I'm actually quite happy about. I'm proud of that. It turned out much better than I expected. Now let's look at some of the unlockable movement tech that I've built so far. The first one is the jump. If I press and hold the jump button, which is currently X on the controller, I get this little target that's either red or green. Again, colorblind mode to be implemented. If it's green, it gives you a nice big momentum boost and allows you to get through narrow openings that you wouldn't otherwise fit through, like this light shining through at the lighthouse below that you might have noticed. If I carefully position myself, it'll reveal a secret passage that you'll eventually be able to get through. Let me get out of here. Now, another thing you can do with it is there's this no thrust zone at the top that disables your engines right here. So you can't get up there without the jump. Huh? These will be instrumental in making difficult platforming challenges. I'm a platformer guy, always have been, so the focus of the game will be more on the platforming side than fighting enemies like, let's say, in Super Metroid or Hollow Knight or something like that. There's actually an intended sequence break here. If you position yourself just right, you're able to sort of swoop in and bounce off of the wall above there. It's a bit too difficult at the moment, I'll have to adjust it, but the idea is there. The next one I actually built yesterday. It's a grappling hook type of dealie. You might be wondering why you would need a grappling hook in a game where you can fly, but it's mainly used to redirect your momentum at a moment's notice where you're hurtling toward a laser wall and need to not smash into it, right? So imagine you're going really fast and you want to go... Vroom. Essentially, it's also used to navigate inside areas where you can't apply thrust. There's also a little bit of a sequence break here. If you put this here, you can actually swing yourself up. So, there's that. It's still a work in progress. Well, there's the death animation, by the way. It's related to the warping animation that you get with a jump. I'll build some lore around it eventually. You have some kind of warp drive, obviously. Here's one of the obstacles that I've built so far. There are these electrical lines that if you run into them, they will reset you in a particular spot in the room and you will lose 1 health pip. Note that if your health goes all the way down to 0, you will have a different kind of death where you reset to the previous checkpoint. Of course, this is a starting room, so we don't really have a checkpoint yet, but the idea is there. I haven't yet decided if you'll be able to jump through these or not. We'll have to see if that's an interesting game mechanic or not. Oh, and here's what the main menu looks and sounds like at the moment. I'm actually pretty happy with it, but it might have a little bit too much drama for the time being. We'll see. It's got this parallaxing. And so, kind of flamenco. So that's mostly what I've been working on for the past month or so. I'm currently working on developing the art style workflow so I can get started with charting out the level design. You can see the tile set isn't really finished yet and it doesn't blend into the background properly. That's something I'm working on. As for the tech stack, should I say, I'm using Godot for the game engine, Krita and Sprite for the art, Ableton Live for the music, Guitar Rig for the guitars, and my RSI prone hands for the coding and otherwise development of the project. The story is obviously still quite missing, but it will, as everything else, eventually materialize out of thin air as a synthesis of completely disparate random ideas, so wait for that. Having said all that, I think I'd like to do one of these videos about once every 2 weeks or whenever something worth mentioning comes up. But you can't really plan for these things, so expect occasional videos. So if you're interested in the project, feel free to subscribe, and if you've any thoughts, criticisms, or accolades, or threats upon my very life, I'd love to hear them, so please do leave some comments. And with that, I think I've said about everything I need to, so I bid you farewell.